adventures.
Hey guys, it's Chuke here. Well, you may wonder, how the heck did Chuke end up in Missouri? Where it just so happens, one of my buddies from grade school, shout out to Billy, moved from Fairbanks, Alaska 4 years ago to Missouri, where he had family, and ended up buying this property with like 47 acres. And he's a big time hunter here in Alaska, so of course he transitioned to deer hunting. And I enjoy whitetail. I got one buck in western New York years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. So I wanted to go down to Billy's place and get a deer. I think I'd only driven through Missouri once. I don't really know much about Missouri, but guys, Alaska sucks in a lot of ways. We're really isolated. There's not as much things to do. There's not as many people. We don't have 4 seasons. I freaking loved it down in Missouri. You drive 20 minutes in any direction, there's another little town. It's like they all merged together into one big town. Anyways, I thought it was great, and deer hunting and the land was awesome. Now, one thing that is lame about Missouri is all the land is private. It feels like there's not like a huge expanse of public land you can go hunt like we have up here. Very blessed to have that. So you have to kind of know people, and luckily I knew somebody and he had neighbors and friends, and so I had like hundreds and hundreds of acres to explore. But I did learn a lot. I had a lot of fun. I got skunked. I made some mistakes. The first mistake I made was trying to film it. Now, my last day, I was like, who gives a crap about YouTube or the stupid cameras? Because every time I realized I would turn on my GoPro, even though I had the front screen turned off on the 13 Hero Black, I didn't realize there was a red light on the front that would blink when it was turned on. So now I know why these deer were, they might have been smelling me, but some of them would see that light and just turn away. So that was a big mistake I made. Also, I chose to do traditional archery. This is a great bow. This is my Samick Sage. It's like a $350 takedown recurve bow, so I could take it down, pack it in my luggage. Had a little plano box with all my traditional Port Orford cedar arrows. Very satisfying. These things are so fun to shoot. Very low success rate, and I found out quick how hard it is to hunt a whitetail with a traditional bow. Now, I'm only really accurate at 9 yards, maybe up to 20 yards. After that, it's not really ethical for me to take a shot. My first morning, I had just been hunting. Well, the first evening, I actually took a shot at a doe at 20 yards and barely missed it. It did the flinch and jumped the string and went right over. I must have grazed this thing. So I did have some action with this and almost got a doe, which would have been amazing. But the next morning, just a beautiful buck was literally about 10 feet from me in the tree stand. I think he smelled me, but he made eye contact with me. He looked right up at me in the tree stand. He was under 9 yards. And the biggest mistake I did, well, the first one is I reached over and I turned on that GoPro, even though it was facing the other direction. I thought he might run around and I'd get some footage. He saw that light. And then it was, it's 18 degrees. Luckily, the weather was great. It was nice and cold. Took off my mittens and started to get my, recurve out. I should have had it knocked and in my hands. And once I did that, he just bounded off. If I would have had the Raven R500 crossbow in my lap, I simply would have picked it up, pointed, and just immediately shot. I would have had a buck. So that was a mistake I made. Managing scent, I mean, these whitetail are so difficult. I think I could have done better managing scent. And by the last day, I was just like, okay, screw, I'm never going to get anything with this recurve. I could have taken 4 or 5 deer easily with that crossbow, but the last day, I only had the crossbow, and I did get a big bodied doe at 93 yards, and I should have just hit the reticle and shot it, because that crossbow, my buddy shot it out to 80 yards, and it was just dead on, and it goes out to 120, and you got the reticle dialed in. So I should have taken the shot. I chose not to, but I learned a lot. Man, I wish I was still there. Talk about a fun time. I'm going back next year. I don't know if it's going to be during archery season. I sure would like muzzle loader or rifle season and get a buck finally. But shout out to all the people in Missouri. What a beautiful place. Fun place to hunt, but like I said, you got to know somebody. A little disappointed about that. Let me know what you guys have to say about that. Any tips for me, what I can do better next time. But I had the time of my life. I got a lot of action, almost got a doe with an arrow, and I came close to a lot of deer. I hunted every day for like 5 days, morning and evening, and it was just amazing. So that's my story of the Missouri, northeastern Missouri archery season, and I hope you guys are successful in your hunting. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, getting shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.